sa gitna man ng daan. Mga saglit na inilikha, kakaibang tama nang sinag sa iyong kutis na kayo manggiyosan ba ako dinadala? Bawat ngiti biglang nabura, iyong naipinta. Hiwaga ng iyong tingin nang naalipin kahit saan man madala.
Squared plus 2 pi r h. So now we plug in. So 2 pi, the radius is 3 squared plus 2 pi, radius is 3 of our base again, times the height of 8. And we can start simplifying this and work our way down to the correct answer. So let's do 3 squared here, which is 9, times 2 is 18, so we end up with 18 pi, plus, let's do 3 times 8 is 24, times 2 is 48, so we get to 48 pi on this side. So we have 18 pi plus 48 pi, so that's going to give us 18 plus 48 is 66, so we get to 66 pi. And I'm going to use the pi button on a calculator in order to find this final answer. If you use the approximate or rounded version of pi, 3.14, 3 and 14 hundredths, that's very common to do. Your answer may be slightly different than mine, but it is correct. You just use the rounded version of pi. I'm using the button on the calculator, which is the more extended version of pi. So once I plug that in, I'm going to come to the right where I have more room. I get surface area equals 207, and I get a very long decimal, so I'm going to round this to the nearest hundredth. So I get 35 hundredths, 0.35, and this is surface area, and we're working with inches, so it's square inches. So we get a final answer of 207 and 35 hundredths square inches. So there. Then we will plug in. So pi times the radius of our base, which is 3 inches, squared, times the height of 8 inches. So time to simplify and work our way down to the final answer. So we will do one step at a time here. So 3 squared would be first, which means 3 times 3, and that gives us 9, times the height of 8. So next step, we could do 9 times 8, which is 72, and we multiply that by pi. So I put the 72 before the pi because typically when you multiply something by pi, you put the number first. And multiplication is commutative, so you can switch the order of things and still get the same answer. For example, 3 times 2 is 6, and 2 times 3 is 6. It doesn't matter the order. So 72 times pi, as far as that goes, I'm going to use the pi button on my calculator when I punch this in. If you are using the approximate or rounded pi, 3.14, which is common to do, you may get a slightly different answer than me, but you are still correct. You just use the rounded version of pi. So once I punch that in, I get a pretty long decimal there, so I'm going to round it to the hundredths place. Again, I'm rounding my answer to the hundredths place, and I get 226 and 19 hundredths. And this is volume, so we use cubic inches, or I'm sorry, cubic, whatever the unit of measure.